fuck is going on, y'all? No. Just kidding. What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Ray P. Welcome back to another episode of the We Got Y'all podcast. Of course, I am not here alone. I am joined by my amazing friend, road dog, Ace. I'm trying to think of New York lingo. I'll have to do better about this next week. My
son,
Wale, what's up?
son,
Richardson in his Carolina blue. Carolina
you
birthday.
already know.
What's going on, Rich?
Hey man, I'm just chilling, man. Appreciate you. I know today's mathematics, all of that, all the New York,
all of
things.
that.
You know what I mean? But obviously, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
For sure.
To talk about one of your favorite cities in the entire world. Wink, wink, wink. If you know, you know.
I do love them.
You do love Harlem. The rest of New York is up for debate. But I'm excited to be here with you. This is one of the shows. We joked for a while about maybe a potential We Got Y'all curse because there were a lot of shows that we would discuss and then they just disappeared. Yeah. Right? They just got canceled in the whole nine. So it is cool to have a show where we already discussed the season. We're coming back for the next one. It's been a long time coming. We got the news that this is going to be the final season of Harlem. We also got the news there's only 6 episodes, which is crazy. Wild. But we're going to make do what we can. It is going to be interesting because there are going to be a lot of, before we get into the episode, very Camille driven, these first 2. And I think because we only have 6 episodes, we're not going to get as much of the other 3 as we could or as we had in the past. And obviously, it started out, we've been declining every season. 10 episodes season 1, 8 episodes season 2, 6 episodes this final season. I did a rewatch of the entire series leading up to this. And I know you did a rewatch. I'm not sure if it was just last season or the entire.
Just season 2.
Just season 2. Okay. Just to kind of get myself, get refamiliar with the things that happen, the events that happen. But before we even get started, for all of you out there, thank you for being here. Absolutely. We Got Y'all. It's a television podcast ran by the incredible, the incomparable, the one and only, the star, Ray P. Obviously, she is the leader behind all of this, and I'm glad to just have a passenger seat for the ride. If you are not familiar with us, this is a general conversation, episode by episode, about series that we love. We just randomly pick some things and we'll go ahead and talk about them as they're on in real time. We are discussing Harlem on Prime Video. Yeah. And season 3 just released. This show was created by Tracy Oliver. Shout out to Tracy Oliver. If you don't know, she wrote The Blackening. She wrote Little. She wrote Girls Trip, which obviously shout out to Girls Trip the musical, which Angie got cast in the Dina role. The show stars Megan Good as Camille Parks, Grace Byers as Quinn motherfucking Joseph.
Period.
Jerry Johnson as Ty Reynolds, Shaniqua Shonday as Angie Wilson, and Tyler Lepley as Ian Walker. All 5 of them have been in every single episode of the show. And of course, we got to give some shout out to the legends. We got Jasmine Guy as Patricia Joseph, Quinn's mom, and of course, Whoopi Goldberg as Dr. Pruitt. We have episode. Go ahead.
And Bevy Smith as Aunt Tammy.
I was going to talk about her. Aunt Tammy's one of my favorite characters. So,
Harlem's very own.
You know what I mean? She's one of my favorite characters. And it's funny because there's another show that we always, we would make comparisons to that's no longer on the air. And Bevy Smith was actually, she played herself on that. So it's very interesting. Obviously, it take place in Harlem as well. So 2 very similar shows, but we're not here for that. Just want to say real quick, we have episode 1 titled X ... Specting, and then episode 2, which is Fallopian Blues. Both episodes were directed by Stacey Muhammad. Episode 1 was written by Scott King, while episode 2 was written by Aaron Michelle Williams and Ayanna Bird. Synopsis for episode 1. All 4 women begin this season starting a new chapter. Camille, Quinn, and Ty learn something new about an old friend. Quinn gets an opportunity she can't pass up. Ty and Camille receive big news. As far as the synopsis for episode 2. Picking up where season 2 left off, The girls find themselves in the ER and learn a shocking diagnosis. They commit to being there for each other while Camille makes a life-altering decision. Rachel,
Yeah.
we watched the first 2 episodes of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
We got refamiliarized with everything. What were
Mm-hmm.
your opening thoughts as you started this new season of Harlem?
Okay. Couple things. You started off saying that this was going to be Camille heavy, which I wrote a comment about that. I feel like seasons 1 and 2 did a good job of not necessarily establishing any of them as the main character, quote unquote. But given what we've seen of Expecting and Fallopian Blues, I believe that season 3 will likely be very, very, very Camille heavy. As it stands, she has a lot going on. So, what I think about this episode is that I was right.
When aren't you right, Rachel? Like
I
honestly, when aren't you right?
Let's get into it. So we come in. I told you when we recorded the agency.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm sorry, not to cut you
Uh-huh.
off. I just thought about this.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to start at Camille?
No.
Okay.
I'm not
Go
gonna
ahead.
Camille.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing.
I'm gonna lead us in.
All right, do your thing.
So as Kyrie mentioned at the top, I did go back and rewatch season 2 in preparation for season 3. In addition to that, I also dug in the We Got Y'all archives and listened to our episode on the finale or the final 2 episodes of Harlem. I will say this. I think in hindsight, maybe you'll agree. I think we were a little hard on season 2 while we were recording. I enjoyed watching season 2 much more than I think I did while it was on in real time. In the episode, you gave you gave the season 1 and season 2 like a 7 and a 6, 6.5.
Okay. Yeah.
I gave it an 8.7 because I do think season 1 was better than season 2. I'll stand by that, but maybe I'll up mine up to a 7.5 versus just a solid 7. If you want to keep your 6.5, that's fine. But
no. It's definitely better. It was. I'll say this. Comparisons to Thief of Joy. We mentioned there's another show which is in the We Got Y'all archives as well. That Rachel and myself were watching that was still on at the time. Or we're still fresh in our brains, and it's hard, but to take 2 shows about 4 Black women in Harlem and really separate them when you're talking. And I think that was part of it. But now that I've had a chance to watch, I watched 1 and 2, like I mentioned. Yes, we were harsh on season 2 in real time because we were comparing it to something else. Once again, comparisons to Thief of Joy. I'm glad that because I knew that we were hard on it because of how much I enjoyed these first 2 episodes.
I said the same thing. I said, wait a minute. Did y'all come and blow us out the gate? Did y'all say shut the fuck up, Rachel and Kyron, and let us work? In the lowest of keys, they did. I enjoyed these 2 episodes so much. And again, I think when we came into season 1, or maybe I even talked about it on Eve's Bayou, I was not a Megan Good fan really since Eve's Bayou. This series, especially, I will say, has sort of changed my mind on her in so many ways. I mean, some other things personally, side eye, but but as far as an actor, director, producer, all the hats that she holds on this show, shout out to Megan Good. I also want to come in and say I was right. I told y'all last season that Camille was gonna be pregnant.
You did say that. And it seems, and it's funny, when I was doing the rewatch, it seemed pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It seemed really obvious now, but I really didn't know at the end of that season. But yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Shout out to that. I'm proud of Quinn.
Absolutely.
We didn't shout out the cameo, or we did shout out the cameos, but we didn't mention Kofi Cerebo's fine ass. Shout out to him
I'm
as
sure
Seth.
I knew you weren't gonna waste any time mentioning Kofi, so I was gonna just leave that to you.
Come on. If it's one thing, I'm gonna come through for a chocolate delight. Like, let's be very serious here. That's my type, nigga. That's my type. Hello. Shout out to him as Seth, who will be a love interest of Quinn. Shout out to Angie. She, for me, and hated her season 1. The first part of season 2, I still felt like that on the rewatch, but I think that she's had the best character arc of the 4 women.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Ty. She's still prospering in the tech space. She's finally divorced. We know that she has Q, the queer dating app, but now she has P for the poly guys and girls and thems and theys who are trying to navigate that space. Also, beautiful ass Gail Bean as Eva, who we meet in
Gorgeous.
episode 1, who will be a love interest of Ty. I would like to see it. In the words of Monique, shout out to the girls. I
Hey
love
man.
these 2 episodes, and I be knowing. That's it. Shout out to Whoopi, Dean Pruitt. Knew her and Camille's relationship was going to change. That's it. Before you say what you're going to say, I'm going to ask you. We've already said that maybe Camille is the anchor, and it's going to be a very heavy Camille season. Right now, I have Ian in all of my Camille talk, but does Ian need his own tab?
He doesn't need one right now, but he will as things progress because Ian is in one of those situations that, my goodness, man,
Oof.
like it reminded me of season 2 of the talk that Aunt Tammy had
Mm-hmm.
with Ian
Yeah.
when she affectionately told her told him, um,
Get your
I
shit
don't
together.
lend money, but I don't lend money. I give it away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she told him, you need to grow up.
Yeah.
You need to grow up. It's time. This is not growing up. This is not growing up, man. And here's the thing about Ian, right? And
Oh.
I was watching this, and I was sitting there like, damn. And it tracks with what his character is. And once again, when you look at everything, doing the rewatch really changed things because they really did a good job of development and the decisions these characters are making. They're not surprising. Ian,
Yeah.
especially for him, Ian did that classic thing that a lot of people do, right? You have a vision of what your life is supposed to look like
Mm-hmm.
and who it's supposed to be with.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right there and you realize there's something there. Because remember, when they broke up, there really wasn't any kind of maybe we can see, and there's nothing wrong with knowing what you want, right? I'm not advocating for anyone to stay in things longer than what they should because they hope something might change, somebody
Mm-hmm.
might change their mind. Ian knew he wanted kids, he knew Camille was on the fence about it, but he didn't even give himself the chance to say, all right, where's my pro and con list? Like, how important is Camille to me to where is this something I could live without? It was an emotional decision, which I understand, cool, do your thing. But what he did was he went back to somewhere safe. You know, the girl that he told Camille for years probably not to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be a father. And it sounds like Portia had already been having these appointments set up based off her talk
Mm-hmm.
with the OGBYN.
Mm-hmm.
And now Ian's in the picture, and now he's kind of rushing this process because he got hurt. He's replacing his hurt. He's replacing that void instead of with actually addressing it and feeling what he needs to feel. He's plugging it away with, all right, well, I'm going to get a new woman that I know and love. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not the same as Camille, the same he did with Mira.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a baby because that's what she wants and I want it. And I'm going to fill that void that Camille couldn't give me. And so on and so forth. And
Yeah.
then realizes that, damn, I don't really want this. I want this person. I
Yeah.
want these things, but I want them with this person.
Okay. So I guess we are starting with Camille. Slash Ian,
We might as well. We might as
which
well.
is
We might as
totally
well.
fine because we're here. We're here. Again, we've already said spoiler alert. So we learned that Camille is pregnant. Who is Camille sleeping with? Of course, it's Ian. Here's the thing. once I believe that the chances for me to get pregnant are slim to none, the condoms are out the window. The diaphragm is gone. The IUD is OUT. We're done.
Yo.
The ring is off. We don't need this. Cut the cameras. Now we can just be.
Oh, man.
And if I know that the tubes ain't tubing like that, I might become a little miss, leave it in. And that
Same, man.
is what Camille and Ian had been doing. Here's the thing, and I'm not giving y'all my business, but
Oh, man.
tricky. But I think that, not even I think, I know when you are not worried about being pregnant, and to Camille's point to the girls, I'm not worried about super syphilis with this person. There is just a freedom in the way that you and your partner will explore each other. I know men who have said they can feel the ring. The ring is gone. The show the show opens with a beautiful montage of Ian and Camille just getting it in for months on end post breakup. Let me tell you, Ray told y'all, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. Ray did that, so hopefully y'all don't have to go through that. You cannot maintain a sexual relationship with somebody that you were in love with and planned a life. That is, you are lying to yourself if you think that this is going to be fruitful and it is just going to be able to stay above board, because you have not cut the cord. I'm not asking you about who else you talk to and what you're doing, but because we are still bound physically, and I don't even believe in soul ties like that, another conversation, but because we are still engaging in animalistic, beautiful sexual encounters, and you are being a leave it in Larry, the bond is just as strong as when we were together. However, I'm just not pressing you. We're not sitting on the phone cupcaking. You might not even spend the night, but you're gonna come and stay. You're gonna lay in it a little while longer, unless you got a date.
Say a woman cancels dates because she has to. A man cancels dates because he has to.
That's it. Bars.
Straight up. That's how it works.
And that's how it is. And that's what we are seeing. And obviously, Camille can't handle it, because as soon as Ian, I can't eat with you. I don't want to stay here and get dinner. I got to
Crossing
move
the
to me.
lines.
Excuse me? What do you
Crossing the
mean?
lines. You
What do
mean what
you
I mean?
When the reality is,
Ian hit her. Ian hit her with it. Ian hit her with it. He hit her with a K Rich line too.
mm,
Nigga, I can come back later and get you right.
I will come back later and get you right. And I don't hear from you for 2 months. Camille is a better bitch than me, because I would have been on that brownstone door. We're not
Hold
going
on.
2 months.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Pause. 'Cause I got to ask you about that. Let's
Okay,
rewind. Let's rewind a little bit before you
for
get there.
sure.
All right. You mentioned the opening montage, and
Hmm.
it all starts because Ian is at Camille's door,
Yeah,
bringing over the last things from the brownstone to her
yeah.
place, and they fell victim of what we've all and a lot of people in this world have fallen victim of, which is
Goodbye, sex. Closure
one last nut syndrome.
doesn't
For
exist.
some reason, a lot of us in our heads, mentally, you've told yourself you're done,
Hmm.
but there's something that just says, you know what? I'm gonna hit this one more time.
Hmm.
And one more time is never one more time. And as Camille said, it could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months.
Yeah,
And Rachel, you said it best. There is no way you can maintain. It's too tricky. Maybe it's just best to end it where it is, because it's never going. You're just getting yourself right back in that spiral
that's
into
it.
comfortable space. it's hard to leave comfortable spaces. I said it all the time. A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Camille, you are not going to grow if you stay with Ian. Ian, you're not going to grow if you stay with Camille. But Ian knew what it was. He knew it turned right back. It went from them being together right back into a situationship. And the goodbye, I think this is a quote from the show. The goodbye is neither clean or final. That's a bar because that's exactly what we see. Yeah, Camille started talking about that dinner. Ian said, nigga, I gotta go. I've been seeing people. I'm seeing people. All right. They made this rule in place. We ain't gonna ask about this, that, and the third. We're gonna keep it clean. You know what I mean? We're gonna do our thing. And what else? Whatever you do outside of that, that's what it is. Rachel.
Yeah.
Going back to the point you just made. We find out in real time. Not 1. 2 months. 60 days, Rachel.
Bruh.
Since Ian said he was gonna come back and get her right. And has not been heard from. We see the screenshot. We see on the screen the text thread. The classic, I'm not fucking with you no more. Why don't you get the hint text?
Yep.
And Camille's still going. We just talked about, you and I just had a conversation a week or 2 ago. Just in our own personal lives about the thumbs up.
Yeah.
How neither you or I are fans of the thumbs up response. Right? Could you imagine sending some shit to a nigga and that nigga hit you with the thumbs up? Like, not when I say some shit, I don't mean some words. I mean one of them pictures that says, the picture that you send that says, I'm about to be through now. I'm about to come through later. Like, I'm definitely coming to see you today, and get hit with a thumbs up on it.
I'm crashing out.
I was about to say, man, you gotta.
I'm going off. I'm salty. I'm at your door prior to seeing you out. And I just want to say, in the words of my thorn and his mother, if you you double back, you leave a track. And this is what we're seeing. Yeah, because somebody got some tracks.
She's not even at the brownstone yet. We'll get to her brownstone appearance. But I Rachel, when I tell you I was floored that she was out on this for 2 months.
First off, you really only got about 2 text messages to not respond to. Not only was Camille texting, knowing what we know about Camille, I'm sure she was calling too. I'm sure there's some FaceTimes that have gone unanswered. Camille hit the group me. She hit the TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram comments. I'm sure she's thumbs upping and hearting and liking shit, and you're just getting nothing. Babe, it's nothing else I'm about to have to say to you. And I'm actually not mad at Ian for moving on.
No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. Just thinking about something. Character development. Can't remember if this was season 1 or season 2. You can help me because you just watched season 2. I watched both, so I'm getting confused. There was a moment when they got high to have sex. Was that season 2?
Yes.
That was season 2. All right. Well, they got Camille went and got all the edibles.
Yeah.
Angie told her, don't talk about sex, just have sex. All of that, right? There was a random comment. It's a throwaway. See, I love stuff like this because it's such a throwaway line, but it makes sense to this moment now. Ian asked Camille, do you think you could ever fall into a cult? Do you think a cult could ever just kind of take you over, right? Remember Camille's response to Ian? You would, because you're too nice. You would be too nice and embarrassed, or like you would be too nice of hurting somebody's feelings about asking where the exit was so you would stay. That's exactly what Ian's doing right now. Ooh. Instead of telling her directly that I'm not fucking with you, he drags this on for 2 months. Yeah. Because there's no way, Rachel. There's no way. I get it. After a while, especially if I'm fucking with someone, you got to get the A. And listen, you can have the conversation all day about what Camille is owed. Is she owed an in-person conversation? Is she owed a phone call? Is she just owed a text message? Is she owed a voice note? Whatever. That's between you and your business. All I know is this. We walked into this knowing we were done. We were just fucking. At that point, and Ian kind of told her this throughout the episode. At that point, I don't need to explain anything else. But you're not going to hit me up for 2 months in a row without me saying, hey, listen, this ain't that no more. Like, it's just best for me to tell you because I see this as maybe the first like you said, 2 days, but really after 2 weeks, it's kind of like, all right, she's got to stop at some point, right? Yeah. And then it keeps going and going. There's no way you make it into the next calendar month without me saying, yo, I see you've been hitting me up. I've been busy, but I also want to let you know this ain't that no more. It's been real. Got something else going on. I'll holler at you when I holler at you. And that's it. You just call it a day. I can't believe you let that shit go on for so long, but he's too nice.
You're too nice. I'm doing my best not to get triggered. Because I feel a little something coming up on the back of my neck.
Shout out to Janae.
Bless all of that. Here's the thing, and what you just said is absolutely correct. Yep, Ian is too nice. You let it go. If I have meant all that you claim that I did, you owe me a conversation. It doesn't have to be face to face. That would be nice. But if I'm continuing to reach out to you, I don't know how you can say that you give a fuck about me, care about me, let alone love me, and not be like, look, I know I said I was coming back, but I don't think I am. I fell into some shit that I'm actually fucking with. I like how this feels. I like where it's at. We don't want the same things. It's not a good idea for us to keep doing XYZ. As a 30-something, almost 40-year-old man, and we have an engagement, a broken engagement with somebody else, another broken relationship, and a brownstone between us and XYZ, respect me and respect our love and relationship enough to be upfront with me and just give me that. Like,
yeah, you got to.
Because now, not just am I about to crash out, am I angry and I'm hurt, but my respect level for you is gonna dwindle. Because why you doing me like that?
You don't said it plenty of times across plenty of films and television shows, Rachel. You don't do your dog like that.
You don't do your dog like that. Come on.
Way too much history, way too much going on. You owe her that conversation. Like I said, the method of how you have it, do it however that works. But you do owe that conversation. I have moved on. I advise you do the same with your life. Deal with it how you need to, whatever.
Because you just said fuck me.
Definitely. Told you and showed you, right? And if you in, having that conversation prevents, because this whole situation could have gone left with her showing up at your door like that and your girl answering. Could have went left, bro. That's messy. You don't want messy. You can't do that.
You don't want messy, but here's the thing, and let me tell you why it wasn't going to go left. Because the writing was a little disjointed, because in one statement, Camille says to the girls, Portia is like a sister. They are childhood friends. They grew up together. She's family. In the next breath, when she's confronting you, she says, your child sweetheart.
They always family till they ain't.
They always family until they ain't. And I understand that. I have a tricky friendship, you know.
I always wanted a brother. Hey, shout out to my nigga Chaz, man. Shout out to Chaz, man. Chaz was notorious. Chaz was notorious for telling women, like, I'm not trying to be your brother. Do not call me your brother. Like, straight up. That's one of the first. As soon as that B word came out, do not call me your brother. This is not that. Hey, shout out to Chaz for that. Let's rewind. Let's rewind before we get to the stupid.
Yeah,
right? Let's rewind a little bit. First and foremost, I want to say this episode had me ready for spring, summer.
For sure.
Sunshine, walked outside, new spots, drinks, just chilling, midday shit. Had me ready. New spot open in Harlem. You know how it is. New spot in the area. Everybody's there. Cool little time. Having a good conversation about what's going on in regards to griping about Ian, right? And this whole I haven't heard from him in a while. And this is the first time that Quinn and Ty are hearing about this. Angie's ditched them because she's in love.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of wondering, like, yo, 2 months, you bugging. Like, let this go.
Yeah.
You sent
They
him,
sick of it.
you sent him the clip pic and he gave you a thumbs up. Like, come on. If anything, you should be disrespected.
For sure.
And you shouldn't want to fuck with him after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the new movie, The Sinners, the Ryan Coogler movie that's about to come out. I think there's a quote in that trailer that said, you speak the devil's name, he's gonna show up at your doorstep. Well,
that's it.
Speaking Ian's name, and sure enough, Ian comes through. We're seeing with Portia, as you said, Rachel. Oh, that's his sister.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, they ain't kissing like siblings.
Mm.
Ian does the glance over, sees her, and then hits her with the eye. Let's bounce, man. Let's get up out of here because I don't even want this, right? Don't even want this. That's when she sends her text message. And then we end up with the voice note of Ian pretty much saying, hey, man, first of all, fuck off my line with all that dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, we ain't together. I'm with Portia now. It is what it is. Don't hit me up no more. So which Camille's not going to go for that. Then we get to the brownstone. Like you said, it's really tricky, but shout out to Camille for forcing this conversation. Now, I'm not just going out like that. Shout out to Denzel. I'm leaving here with something.
Shout out to Big Zell.
I'm leaving here with something. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to tell me what's going on. Because ain't no way you tell me you about to get me right and I don't hear from you for 2 months. And then when I see you, you see me, and then you just dip.
Yeah.
I don't care about the other women. And she remember to have the moment where she says, listen, I ain't got to know about who you fucking. Nah, it's deeper than that. And that's really what Ian had to tell her. You could have said that up front, bruh. Could have prevented all of this. Because now, maybe Portia understands. Maybe that is a good dynamic and friendship. She obviously knows Camille, but man, you got to think Ian goes back in the house. Portia got some words for him.
Yeah.
Some questions for him.
Portia can have words for Ian, but Portia has to keep it cute with Camille.
Has to. Yeah, that ain't her. She has no right to say anything to Camille.
I'm pulling up because should let you know me showing up unannounced in the middle of the night, essentially, that there's not a clean break here.
Banging on that door too. You know how mad I'd have been.
There's unfinished business. We are a relationship. You are said sibling from down the way. It's not really shit you can say to me, despite you being the girlfriend now, because obviously I don't know that. Obviously, that's not the presentation. That's not how I know you. And until he makes it plain, it's not shit you can say to me.
Nothing at all. And that's why
it's not shit you can say.
And I think her face.
I'm not hearing you.
Camille's face was a mixture of shock and knowing what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
A, I wasn't expecting you to answer this door, and B, even if I want to go off, I can't because you don't really have anything to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm surprised to see you once again. There's always the woman he told you not to worry about, the guy she told you not to worry about, and then you knock on the brownstone door, and that's the same person answering the door. You know, so I'm sure there's a little bit in the comfy clothes. He ain't answering his phone. Oh, it's funny. It's on.
It's
being funny low key. Being funny low key, but we're gonna let it slide.
I'm gonna let it slide. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna let it slide. A motherfucking skull, bitch, in a minute.
The unannounced pop-up is crazy.
Yeah.
We talked about Owen explanations. We already had that conversation. And really, when it comes to Camille, that first episode ends with all the chaos. With her going out for drinks with the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Angie shows up for Mike. They're planning their wedding. We'll talk more about Angie later.
Mm-hmm.
Camille's not feeling the best, passes out, and then boom, gets us right back to the beginning of season 2, or the end of season 2, of what actually happened and who's pregnant. And we end up finding out that Camille is pregnant, which you stated, Rachel. Before we get into episode 2 and the kind of the things that happened with Camille there, I do also want to mention on a professional level, Dr. Pruitt calls Camille and tells her she was wrong about tenure. She does deserve it. And it's funny because Camille, in other areas of her life, she knows when it's time to have a clean break and when it's time to start anew. And she just can't do it with Ian. And even Aunt Tammy mentioned this in episode 2. We'll get to that later. She's not staying at Columbia, but we do know Dr. Pruitt is stuck with her. which is always good. We always want to see Whoopi Goldberg,
Yeah.
even if it is for only 4 more episodes. Whatever.
Something else I was right about their relationship. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. And I love Dr. Pruitt. Dr. Pruitt just talking about how uncomfortable it cries from making. I don't like hugging people, the whole nine. And we also learned that Camille's writing a book, and she asked Dr. Pruitt to write the foreword.
Mhm.
So that's going to be something to keep an eye on as we continue on. I know episode 2 was a lot about Camille and the decisions she's going to have to make. Do you want to take a break from Camille real quick and transition to another character and maybe talk about some other things that's going on?
Yeah,
I'll let you have.
let's end it there because that's a little bit heavier. Let's get into Angie because I don't want to say I feel like we're rushing through her, but she's quick and light because both episodes were.
Hey, I think you could describe her character as that in multiple ways.
So Angie was quick and light in both episodes. So again, we saw Mike propose to her at the end of last season. They are still engaged and essentially living together. We knew that she was out of Quinn's house, but she's living with Mike and they are planning the wedding. Additionally, you've already mentioned Angie has gotten a lead role as Dina, aka the Haddish role in Girls Trip, the musical, as to which I cannot wait to see whatever song that they do, whatever line they do. I wasn't a fan of the drugs in my booty hole in the actual film. I wasn't a fan of none of that. So I'm very curious to see what the musical selection, because I still randomly say scrape, click, scrape.
Hey, Get Out the Musical is low-key underrated. I ain't gonna hold you.
Get Out the Musical was high-key fire. So I'm very excited to see what they put together for Angie in Girls Trip the Musical. Now let me ask you, we see her former co-star / also former bisexual butt buddy, who is still very much around, and I hate I didn't write his name down. Eric. Bisexual or not, just sexual or not, is your old work gonna be around your fiance?
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me though. And it's not out of an insecurity thing. It's more so just a respect thing. Like why? Like what? Why? Like you. Maybe I've known you since kindergarten, and maybe 2 random weeks in college, y'all had a little thing and realized y'all was better off as friends. And it's been 15 years since then, and y'all been nothing but solid friends. And this long-lasting relationship, your families know each other, all of that. That's different, right?
Yeah.
That might be a little bit different. Yeah, y'all might have a little history, whatever. I can clearly see y'all cool. I can clearly see that it's not that. I do think there's a conversation to be had about heterosexual men being more comfortable with their women around homosexual men or bisexual men or people who just don't like women because of this comfort factor of not having to worry about that. But even outside of all of that, why y'all what? Y'all niggas met on a Get Out musical that got canceled. Y'all both failed at big nigga season, so y'all ended up sleeping with each other for a little bit. And then from there, y'all ended up being cool, which is cool. We see it as viewers that they are nothing but cool, which is fine. I'm just not about to have, and here's the thing, it's not even about having old work. Yes, it is. It is about having old work. But even on top of that, get the fuck out the conversation, bro. Get out. Like I don't know how Mike went without saying, hey, bro, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to leave.
That's a whole separate issue for me, is the insight of yourself.
And 444. Never wanted nobody to know something about me that you didn't know. He don't know about your Plan B regimen. He don't know. Now I'm finding out all these things, because if you're the Mike in this situation, that's a terrible position to be in. Now other people that I didn't even, things that's it seems common, right? Eric said it like a shock, like he don't know that. Like everybody knows that, but I don't even know it. Like, how well do we know each other? What's really going on? What version of Angie am I actually getting? Right?
Does Mike know about Angie and Eric's relationship?
No, because Mike looks, and that's why I even brought that whole thing up. It wasn't random. I think Mike really looks at her. Oh, that's the gay friend. Mike looks at Eric as that's the gay friend, and I don't even think. Yeah,
Not
I don't think he.
bisexual, the gay
Yeah,
friend.
not bisexual, the gay friend, and I don't think he even crossed his mind to ask Angie. Now, I will say this about Mike. Mike reminds me of Torian in a bit. Remember the episode of Torian and Insecure?
It's okay, yeah.
Remember Insecure, the penultimate episode of the entire series, Tiffany's house. They hide the Medibles, Molly and Torian. They fucking shit up. Dro shows up. Molly, hey, this is Dro. You know, we fucked around. It was messy. He married, blah, blah, blah. And Dro hit her with, yo, calm. And Torian was like, all right, bet, cool. Nice meeting you, bro. Like, it ain't nothing. I do think Mike has some of that in him. Like, all right, it ain't no big thing. However, I would rather you tell me than finding out a different way.
Yeah.
Because give me the chance to react how we going to react. Because I don't think he would have went off the handle. I think he would have expressed some concern about a nigga that you lived with and he was dicking you down for a little spell of time. Just in my place. Once again, this is Mike's place. He in my spot. There's no way Mike knew. Because just the vision, like just those best man at the altar seeing flashbacks of Harper drilling me and shit. That tear coming down the face. I don't want none of that going on, thinking that you in the house working with this dude, and for some reason, like I said, it's just a weird dynamic that's unnecessary. It's not needed. It's not like y'all best friends, y'all need each other. This doesn't have to happen. And if it does happen, it doesn't have to happen in my crib when I ain't here. Just my 2 thoughts. 2 cents, should I say.
I'm gonna agree with you on all of that. Very well said. Let me ask you, because I was thinking of Mike, and I didn't think Torian really until you just said it. But he actually very much reminds me of Sterling K. Brown's character in Insecure.
See something, do something.
Also dating Molly. Angie is like a meteor. She is a ball of fire and fun and beauty, but the crash and burn is detrimental, to say the least. I am nervous for Mike because it is very, very, very clear that Mike don't know shit about Angie besides she is funny, beautiful, a good time, and things. Because while he said in season 2, let's move fast or something to that nature, which is fine. I understand, and this is me shooting them a little bit of bail, and even Ian and Portia a little bit of bail. When I thought that I was about to fuck with Big Jersey, it was moving very fast because on the surface, these are 2 people of a particular age who on the surface want the same things, or at least say they do. Tricky. So
I can edit that. I can edit that out for you. I can do the name edit. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool.
We talking, you know how we do. So I feel where Mike and Angie have just insulated themselves in their relationship and surface talk and essentially wedding planning. But in all of this fast movement for the relationship, you miss certain things. Because why don't you know that Angie, very rarely for someone as outspoken and ostentatious as Angie, that she's not like anybody else in her family. Usually she is the rule, not the exception. Everybody's quirky, big voice, big energy, this and the third. Why would you think a small intimate gathering would be okay for Angie? Even when he said they're at the Waldorf doing this grand ballroom situation. In what we know about Angie, I don't see Angie having this grand ballroom wedding.
Nah.
A large wedding to accommodate her large family. She has like 6 brothers alone.
Yeah, it's real quick. It made me think of that line Camille had when they showed up at the end of episode 1. And have you met Angie?
Angie?
That might sum up what's going on right now between both of them. I think there's an attraction. You both like each other, love each other.
Yeah.
But do you know this person? That's a whole another conversation. That gets tricky.
I'm telling you, they don't. And once you start getting into the minutia of who and how somebody is, past it being beautiful, fun, you will be like, what the fuck is going on here? This
Mhm.
person is insane or lame or ridiculous, like you will find out some things as you're getting into the nitty gritty of a relationship that fast honeymoon phase nixes. Like you miss a lot of shit. And now we're starting to see. So I'm actually very anxious for them. And I'm gonna give us a prediction
I was
very
just about to
early.
ask you, are they getting married or not?
No, no,
Hmm.
no.
End on good terms. I don't think we see a marriage. I do think we see the series ending with them working towards knowing each other and maybe getting there, but maybe slowing down or pumping the brakes. Even though Mike doesn't strike me as a pump the brakes kind of guy, but we'll
Yeah,
see. But I do think they're right for each other. I just don't think the timing is there, and it's very obvious.
nope.
And they have not talked about a lot of things that a lot of people. Hey, shout out to Eric, who at least did say this sounds like something y'all should have talked about.
Y'all should have been talked about this. What do
Mm-hmm.
you mean you're not going to be immediately ready for children? What do you mean you don't see me trying to get my career off the ground? You know that it's been stalled. You know, I've
Mm-hmm.
only had this Hallmark movie up until this point since Get Out was canceled, since my music career failed. I'm doing my best to do something that I'm passionate about. Of course, I'm not wanting to immediately have a child.
I
Both of
think
their
maybe
perspectives make sense, but I don't know why they haven't talked about it.
I wonder if and it seems like Mike is, I'm not going to say well off, but he's doing well for
He is.
himself. He's doing well for himself. When I say well off, I'm talking about from the Quinn stance where you really good.
Well, remember,
How mhm.
Quinn's mother is who introduced them because she knew his parents. She knew Quinn's mother knew his family and knew that he was single and this and the third. So not only does he do well for himself, but he also comes from a similar uh economic background as Camille. I mean, as Quinn.
Nah, that's a good point. It's funny because, and these really aren't related, but it just makes me think of them the same. Just people's reactions to certain things, right? You and I, maybe a year ago or so, I remember we had a conversation about something. And I told you, if a dude's not used to getting rejected,
Mm-hmm.
like he doesn't know how to take it. And you can see a whole different side of that person. Like the lame will come out. The lame will come out if they don't know how to just take it on the chin. Like, all right, cool. Like keep it moving and be cool about everything. I'm not saying Lane will come out of Mike because I really do think he's a solid dude. But I think there's a part of him that is surprised. I think he was expecting Angie to want to be, and I say this with all respect, taken care of, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think he didn't expect her to want to continue her dreams, not in a real way. I don't think he ever expect her to stop singing or being an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that maybe, hey, if I show you that I can provide for you and give you the life that you're looking for without you having to do all of that, then you'll be good. And now he's learning in real life versus asking those questions over time. He's learning like, oh no, she really wants to be, she wants to be great. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about fame and money for her. Like that's nice, but she loves doing this.
Yeah,
And there's nothing I can provide for. I don't think Angie literally has to do anything if she doesn't want to.
I don't think
But
so.
that's not good enough for her. Like, why would I want to do that? Until she made a point of saying, I can't wait to have enough money to where everybody drops
Drops.
their day,
Mm-hmm.
drops everything when I call them. I don't know, man. I don't think the wedding happens either, but I do think that they're they're going to be in a good space.
Why haven't y'all watched no movies together?
It's wild. And he homeschooled, man. So,
And I already be feeling some kind of way about the homeschooled people. The socialization and social skills are a little bit different since you missed all of that in the public sector. But yeah, Mike and Angie are ones to watch.
100%.
They
Mike
are
and Angie are ones to watch. What do you think about? Well, that kind of covers Mike, Angie for the most part.
Mhm.
Do you want to jump to Ty? You want to jump to Quinn?
Ty. Another quick and
All right.
dirty.
Let me just say this real quick.
Uh-huh.
I will never forgive Harlem for not giving us the intricate details of what happened between Amy, Ty, and Zoe. What happened in I want to see the conversation. I know Amy called her a clown, but I want to see that conversation in the hallway. I want to see the looks. I want to see the expressions on their faces once they found out. Hey, listen, because talk about a situation to be in.
My Lord.
Knocking off the mom and the dad. Now, name, no blame. No, not me. I've never done this. But I do know a woman that laughs. And she's almost, I don't want to say embarrassed, but she doesn't like to talk about it. Son and dad situation.
Oh.
Unbeknownst to her, but then found out and was like, oh shit. So I always think that's funny. So these things exist. I say that to say these happen. But that's a wild thing. And I wanted to see it play out. And unfortunately, we get the fast forward of what's going on now.
Yeah.
And Ty's living her celibate life.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned she met Eva, who was working at this tech company. Ty's looking for an investment for P. Mm-hmm. And Eva is at this coffee shop, you know what I mean? Oh, she's throwing it. And normally Ty would be all over it. I would have. Shout out to Gail Bean. I would have. Through the mattress. You hear me? But Eva's flirting. Ty surprisingly declines. Mm-hmm. She's doing her solo thing. As we mentioned, our quote, vague is my favorite type of dirty.
Yeah.
And she mentioned with the girls that she was celibate, which led to a very interesting conversation. Quinn asked her, what is celibacy going to do? And and it means that, listen, that's lifestyle changes. Mm-hmm. 10 people can make the same change and it mean 10 different things to them and why they're doing it.
For sure.
Right. So I'm not saying that. But Quinn told her quitting sex is not going to change you. And it did just bring a good, interesting conversation about making sure we understand why we're doing what we do. Mm-hmm. I think Ty was in a position of where she looked at some things that happened in her life. And sometimes it does take an embarrassing moment for you to stop and be like, all right, man, I got to check myself.
Yeah.
Right. I've been out here reckless. It's not like you don't know you're toxic. She's very aware of that, but this is a little too much even for me. And maybe I need to take a break back from all of this to kind of figure out what I'm doing. I don't know if Ty was doing it. I think it was just like, I'm going to take a break because I'm hurting people versus what do I really want out of life? How do I want to be intentional and all of that? And this is very interesting to see where Ty is going to end up. And if she wants to really, as we saw her observe the happy couple, does she want that life? She said she was literally dying of boredom watching them. But also, is she going to mature and kind of, all right, maybe I can see myself with the thing, or am I going to be in the present and just take it as it is? It's just coffee. It's just a drink. Let's not get too far ahead of myself.
And that's how it always starts. And the words up, Ty. And it's always that until it's not. I'm tying this celibacy journey. On its surface, I understand, but I appreciate very much what Quinn was saying. It doesn't solve anything unless you're resolute. And for Ty, she's just trying not to be fucking people, and ruining, terrorizing half of Harlem. You know, that's her sole purpose. It's not for introspection. It's just like, I'm putting this hot box on. Well, this hot strap on on a break. Like, I'm taking a pause because I need to figure my shit out. And there is probably, because we knew that Amy was older.
I haven't had no sex.
Haven't had no sex. I know what it's like to just decide that you're going to be celibate because too much foolishness has just happened in your life. And so shout out to Ty for making that decision. But to your earlier point, I think that she needs to really, really get introspective with what she's doing. Now, I want to see it, but I don't think that she needs to get involved beyond a drink, beyond some coffee with Gail Bean's character, Eva, because you've already shat where you've eaten with Vogue, with the white girl, the freelance writer. Don't play with your funding if you're not mature enough to just keep it easy. I like what Eva said is just make a different decision, but that is very much easier said than done, especially when I'm used to moving a particular way.
That's fair.
A different decision. I have to make a series of different decisions. One is easy, but a series of different decisions is a little bit harder. So I do think that she needs to tread very, very carefully with that. And Eva seems like she could take a punch. She might be all right, but it is very, very, very dangerous to enter those waters. Pause.
You took the word right out of my mouth. No, ain't no pause. Ain't no pause. Yeah, dangerous is the word I was going to use because let me tell you something. You talk about, listen, men are generally easy anyway.
Yeah,
but if Eva looks at me and says, you're just so overwhelming in all the best ways, check.
I'm going.
Check, please. Let's get the fuck up out of here because I know what that means and it's over.
That's it. I love
like with the come on, man, don't game me like that. Stop. We going. That's what the way she said that, and that's Ty knew it. That's when you just know I gotta give in. This ain't I either gotta not talk to you at all, or I gotta go ahead and explore this because first of all, it's Gail Bean, it's Eva in this situation.
Period.
And everything works out. But I do agree with you 100%. Fucking up the money, baby, and that ain't good business.
That's it.
Can't do that. You can't do that. You've already done it with Vogue, as you mentioned. Low key, already done it with Brandon. Fucked up the money there. Almost had to cut Q off.
Yeah.
Just start over because I was not giving them half until I saw the impact of what my work has done and how it's brought people together.
Shout out
I like that time. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, shout out to Brandon tearing up that $1 million check.
Once again, for the second time this episode, Rachel, wouldn't let that shit happen to me though.
I'm so sorry. I'm taking my money.
Oh yeah, straight up. We ain't got to talk ever again. Good luck. Listen, matter of fact, I know you're gonna do well.
That's it. I give you your shot, but I
appreciate that.
Money.
What all I was gonna say was, I do like that Ty is being upfront. She laid it all out on the line. Like, this is what it is. I'm the star. She be toxic. I was messing with I messed up a relationship because my jump off was her daughter. Like, I'm letting you know right now what this is. And at that point, if you cool with those waters, then go ahead and jump in.
That's it.
And we'll see what happens. So I would love to see, because Eva seems real cool, and I want to see what gets her. Where does she reach her point? Because it seems like everyone reaches the point with Ty romantically where it's like, nah, fuck this. You know what I mean? Remember the white girl told her, I should have played. I read this right the first night. That's why I left and didn't give you your number. That's why I ate your beef and broccoli, and I was up out of there. Because I knew you weren't looking for nothing. You came back and made it seem like it was something.
Yeah.
Once again, another insecure. You a fuck nigga. You even worse. You a fuck nigga that thinks he's a good guy. Because remember, she told Lawrence, I knew what this was, but you tried to pretend like it was something else. You tried to act like it was this. Now you want to come to family barbecues when you know this ain't that, bruh. Fuck you. So we'll see how this all plays out, man. I
Shout
shout out to Ty.
shout out to Ty and Lawrence essentially, because I think that
Big L, Lawrence Hive. You already know what it is. Gang, gang shit.
I
Whole
wasn't
lot of gang shit.
I wasn't that at all. Um, maturing is realizing that sometimes you do want something more.
Yeah.
Free wild sex, yeah, that's cool, but it's empty. And yes, everybody's over the Camille and Ian of it all, but you know that there was real love there.
Right.
Quinn, for the many things you could say about her, even if she's not experienced it, her desire for real love and partnership and continuing to put herself out there, it matters. Even now, here is Angie, of all people, experiencing some form of real connection and love. And no matter how many toys you have and whatever else and one night stands, at the end of the day, that other side of the bed gets lonely. And while Ty is tall, you're not going to be trying to lay diagonal your whole life. You want somebody else up in that space, in this intimate space. We saw peaks of it last season, not just because Amy was showing her something different, but even in her approach to Zoe, little young hot ass. That's a little bit more than what you bargained for. And
Zoe
that,
was wild.
I think, was a telltale sign that, oh yeah, this probably isn't what I need to be doing. This isn't going to be fruitful for me. We saw Ty have that come to Jesus moment when she was almost 40 years old, chasing drugs in Puerto Rico. Like, girl, fucking relax. So we know that different decisions are going to be needing to be made on Ty's behalf. So good luck to her. I'm very
I'm rooting for her.
curious. I want to see, but I hope that she plays it cute with Eva.
I'm gonna see, man. If Eva keeps Eva game is strong, so if she keeps
It's
coming
very
that way,
strong.
then I already know what it is. Like I said, it's gonna be one because all it is, it's not all it takes is one time,
Mhm.
right? One time. You
Yeah,
just keep saying, no, I gotta catch you on the right time. You might have had that rough day. We having that drink, and Ty's like, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. Let's
that's
do it.
it.
That's all it takes, man. So we'll see. But Eva does have respect. I don't think there's anything. I don't think she's throwing herself out there. I think she wants the best for herself as well. We'll see. I guess we gotta go to Quinn.
The queen of it all, Quinn motherfucking Joseph.
Quinn motherfucking Joseph, man. She said the best thing that she has done. This is when she was having the conversation at the new spot in Harlem with Ty and Camille. The best thing she has done is put herself first and focus on herself and love herself and everything else. And it has changed the outlook. I do remember, even though I did not go back in the archives and listen to our season 2 analysis, I do remember both of us having major concern for Quinn in that bathtub and just where she was and wanted Quinn. We're rooting for Quinn actively to pull out of this and get better. And we also discussed how we knew it was a self journey. There was nothing anyone could do for her. It was something that she had to do on her own. And it looks like she's finally found that space. And we see her doing what she loves. Remember, season 1 at the boutique was kind of light. It was that same white woman in there acting a fool and all this other stuff. And now she got different people. We get this random woman. But we also see the connections that Quinn's making. She gets invited to an exclusive leftovers party where she's introduced to Seth, an MLB player, baseball.
Real money.
Who starts spitting game at Quinn, man. Who they attracting with that line? What's your name? What's your sign? Nigga ask, what's your sign? You a Cancer? All of that. Let's talk about it because I know how much you love Kofi, Seth in this situation.
Yeah.
Quinn said she's not looking to get tied down, but she wouldn't mind getting tied up.
Period.
Once again, just letting them know off bat what type of situation we looking at. What do you think about this interaction? Obviously, it leads. She parlays this into some business opportunities. Is she going to keep it, as you say, is she going to keep it cute? Or is this something that Quinn that we've known in season 1 and 2 will be jumping all over the chance to be with Seth? It kind of reminds us in a little bit different way because Quinn doesn't have somebody that she's married to or has been married to.
Mm-hmm.
But we also saw in the other show that we had mentioned that we make comparison to a character where the big dog came through.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go to? Hey, you want baguettes?
Spot of Paris.
Fly to Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Bread or diamonds, whichever one. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
baguettes we talking about, we can just fly to Paris and get them. We ain't got to go nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You want some fresh coconut? We can get on the jet. We can go to the islands right now. It ain't nothing. But as we said, it's cool when it's new. When it's used to it, it's like, all right, what do I really want? Is this it?
Mm-hmm.
What's gonna happen with Quinn? Talk to me, Rachel.
Okay. Shout out to Fine Ass Kofi. Again, I think that Quinn is gonna do her best to keep it cute. I think that Seth likes that likes that Quinn isn't all over him. Keeping a healthy distance. I'ma hurry up and get dressed. That scene reminded me actually of Tyler Perry, Confessions of a Therapist or whatever it's called, where Journey Smollett's character, after a night of passion with her husband, immediately gets dressed. So pleasure and satisfaction, questionable. But she said that she was satisfied, but she just had a lot of shit to do, this and the third. With that, he gets a call from a manager and says that your stylist stole your clothes and it cannot be reached. Crazy. Would you look here? I happen to be with the stylist. Quinn gives him the breakdown. Who do you holler at Bergdorf's? Shout out to Jessica. She's going to be quick. I will personally tailor your stuff. I don't think he knew that she was a designer.
I don't think he did.
So it all is happening very organically. I think he is going to be the one, because Quinn isn't on it, quote unquote. I'm Quinn motherfucking Joseph. Because she's not pressed and enamored, I got a couple dollars, so I'm not after you for that. I got my own shit. I do XYZ. Oh, now I've made you my stylist that I've announced to the world. So now I'm going to get you a bag. I'm going to do other things to let you know that I'm on it beyond what appeared to just be some fun. Do I think there are wedding bells? I don't think so. But I think he's going to be the one to sort of shift the energy, because I think that Quinn in these 2 episodes is grounded in the personal work that she's been doing while we haven't seen them for 2 years, but technically only a couple of months.
Once again, some high profile people who are used to being told yes, they might not know how to respond when they get told to no, when they have a woman like Quinn who ain't pressed like that. Like, you know what I mean? You got to think, MLB player, successful MLB player. They read his stats on the red carpet at the ESPYs. Like, my man's out here getting it.
I don't even know what an RBI is.
Runs batted in, but he got him.
Shout out to
Either way, this is something new for him, and I think that's refreshing. But I wonder how long it's going to be before it becomes annoying to him. And I do think he's the one that falls, because let me tell you, like Bernie, like the late great Bernie Mac would say, when you giving her the dick, right? Us as men always view that as cure-alls, right? Or the moment of truth, right? Well, for a lot of men, I think that's the moment of truth. Like, how's she gonna respond to this? Once I give her that D, I got her. Blah blah. Quinn was up, dressed, not only just getting his shit ready, she was dressed. Nigga, I got shit to do today, nigga. It was cool. Thank you for your services. We can do this again.
So much. I will see
if you think I'm about to Google Gaga, cancel my plans, let's have breakfast in bed. I'm on my shit right now.
Yeah.
That just lets you know where Quinn was. And it's such a night and day difference from where she was season 1 and 2, because she would have eavesdropped on this conversation and immediately offered her services, probably offered to take him to different places. I'm telling you what to do. Here's the play. You can do it or you don't have to. If you do it, you can come to me. And I do respect the fact that Seth was on some. Hey, does this break the whole nothing personal, no strength? Listen, this is fun. I'm a designer. This is fun for me. And then once again, parlays it into a play. I'm a stylist. Oh, MLB All Star says you're his stylist. Well, guess what? Now your DMs are blowing
Calls
up.
are coming in.
Networking 101. So it works out. And I love that moment where Quinn was like, oh shit, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This, I guess I'm a stylist now. She's having that moment with her girls. So that's going to be one that I am looking forward to because Quinn she's so different. Unlike Ty is different, but you can tell that she's doing a lot of reflecting as she chose this. Quinn is almost a completely different person right now.
Yeah.
And it'd be different if she reverted back to someone she knew. I feel like their friends have never known this version of Quinn.
No.
So this is new for everyone. So she might be the most interesting character this season for me.
Yeah.
Because it does seem like a night and day thing. So we'll keep our eyes on Quinn. Like I said, Angie, Quinn, Ty, pretty light. And let's go back into really the heaviest part of, these 2 episodes. Camille and her decision on what does she want to do? Does she want to, is she scared of turning into her mother, which we have an appearance from her.
Shout out to
the Lees. Yeah, shout out to the Lee family. Shout out to Joy Lee. And also, there's a moment where she's having the conversation. What if I don't want to be a mom and I don't realize that until later and I hate it? Like, what if I become a mom and I hate it? What if I terminate this baby and I regret that for the rest of my life? That's so, I mean, rock, meat, hard place. Like, that is just one of the most gut-wrenching decisions to make, I'm sure. I mean, she's really going through it. Rachel, what were your thoughts on her entire process from obviously being there with the girls, from having discussions with Ian, to the ultimate Aunt Tammy conversation, which was probably my favorite scene from both episodes.
For sure.
What do you think about Camille and the way she's handling this?
Okay. It is a very, very, very loaded question. And before I kind of get into the Camille of it all, I just want to shout out to the girls because your sister circle, your road dogs and confidants, when you are faced with a decision such as this, showing up and being supportive and riding with you either way, letting you really, really make the decision for yourself, but being supportive is so imperative. I love this. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. That just reminded me of something too before I let you go back. I do want to say, and I'm sure you probably were in your way of saying it as well. We know that we're discussing television, but we also know that art imitates life. We know that this is something that a lot of women and partners have dealt with, and obviously trigger warning and anything, and love and respect to anyone who's ever had to make that difficult decision and who might be still thinking about it to this day, no matter how long ago it was. If it was 1993 with the dude with the Nietzsche overalls on, like those are just certain things you don't forget, and they change you as a person. And I want to make sure through our conversation we acknowledge that for anybody listening, and we understand. And peace and love to you. But Rachel, go ahead.
Sure. No, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I have sat with a friend post procedure who felt like they wanted to be alone, but there is something about the sisterhood and showing up, and it fucking matters. It matters. While I have not had to make the decision for that, knowing that you have the support of people that genuinely love you and care about you, it is imperative. And so again, I just want to shout out the girls for being a part of the decision making process while letting Camille know that it is your decision at the end of the day. I'm not gonna let you drink. No matter
until you make it.
Until the decision is made and the coast is clear, I'm not gonna let you do it. And in the Quinn of it all, bitch, I want you to have this baby. Like, we'll be fair, but that is what I want. So I just want to shout out the girls for that. Camille, the overthinker of the group, as they so proclaimed for her, it's not an easy decision to at one day feel like this is something so far from reach, out of your grasp, you'll never have it, to it being a very real present situation in your life is crazy. But that is how it goes. Once you stop looking, once you stop wanting, here it comes, you know.
Like life in general. And not only that, Rachel, I don't
Uh-huh.
think we emphasize 12 weeks pregnant. Like, it's like
12
12 weeks.
weeks pregnant. You haven't spoken to him in 2 months. That's only 8 weeks. So y'all was still very much getting it in. It's
Mhm.
another 4 weeks where he was coming in and being a leave it in Larry.
And the weight of knowing that this literally, because that's another thing that goes into the scenario. It'd be one thing if she got the news that Ty got and everything's looking
Mhm.
good,
Yep,
no issues. This literally could be the only chance in your entire life at
that's
biological
it.
motherhood.
That's
And
it.
it weighs on the decision. You think about it even more
That's it.
because of that reason. So yeah.
Um,
I
I
will say
go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I will say this. They did the perfect patty list, the pros cons list from
Mhm.
Why Did I Get Married?
Uh-huh.
The girls recommended that. However, there was a moment when they realized, mention Ian's name, and then they realized right away, oh, you haven't told Ian. I want to talk about that real quick
Mhm.
because Ian's blocked. He's
Yeah.
questioning why he's getting the call because he's supposed to be blocked.
Mhm.
The infamous "we need to talk," and then the
Mhm.
next thing you know, you see Camille in the brownstone with Ian,
Mhm.
and
No,
he is
don't forget she sent the sonogram and he just sent the exclamation marks.
yes, I did forget about that. You're absolutely right, which is wild. Um, was that the first time that was her way of saying I'm pregnant? Don't
Yeah.
do that, Camille. Hey, Camille. Hey, listen. Let me tell. Hey, man, stop. Pick
That's
up
why
that
he
phone
got
and
the
let's start the
exclamation
conversation.
marks. He ain't he you can't this can't be my baby. Congrats.
Yeah, congrats to you
Mhm.
because I know it ain't mine.
Yeah.
Um, Ian's upset because he feels like Camille's trying to sabotage what he got going on.
Mhm.
Feels like mirror all over again. Here you come.
Mhm.
When I feel like I got my life in order, and remember I told you earlier, he is using all these other people as a placeholder for Camille during this time, and this feels like mirror all over again. I can't tell you how many times I laughed when Camille said, "The world's biggest hunt." So what the fuck you talking about?
Period.
The world's biggest hunt? Because you think that I did all of this just to trap you and get you back? You're insane for this. Like I did not plan this. I did not want this.
My life is not a reaction to you.
Bar,
Mhm.
bar.
Mhm.
Also, the reality of this Portia shit real. He said, I'm not gonna do her like
I
that.
ain't coming up off her.
So I'm a side project to you now.
Ooh.
Once again, another thing you have to take into account. Ian, as well intended as he is, I'm always gonna take care of mine. You know that. I get that. Camille ain't trying to hear that shit right now. I don't even know if she's trying to hear that we're gonna get back together, but she wants a little bit more. Where's the support coming from?
Mhm.
Because right now it sounds good, but I'm going to be the one with this child,
Yeah.
and you're going to be the one that gets to come in and out,
Mhm.
be good,
Mhm.
be the good hero, like the good guy, should I say, the whole nine. Um, and he told her, I wanted the baby. I wanted you. You did not want that. You let
Mm.
me go. You ended things.
Ooh,
A
Jesus.
lot of layers to this.
Yeah.
Not as easy as just, as Quinn said, it's not as easy as a smash and dash off the street.
Mhm.
This is a complicated decision. Um, that actually kind of gets into. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. We can talk about the mom aspect of this.
Mhm.
I want to jump towards the end when we have Portia and Ian at their appointment,
Okay.
and double whammy. 3 boys, 1 girl. The embryos are looking at freezing. Portia even says, "So that means we can get pregnant as early as next month." Ian's not sure. he has the conversation with Camille, but it's left with, I'll let you know what happens. I'll let you know what we do.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a text message.
Mid-appointment.
Mid-appointment. I'm not going to let fear stop me. Congratulations, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how Ian could eat. I don't even know what he's like. I don't even know where his stomach is at this point, because I wouldn't even know where to start with all of this.
Yeah.
Like, these are my confessions for real.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we weren't together, I don't know when Portia and all that has happened. I don't know if he was still rocking Camille at that time.
Had to.
Just a nasty scenario to be in, man. And once again, I have to make a big choice, because the fatherhood that I was yearning for is here in front of me in both scenarios. Do I give Portia what you should? Please be a decent human being and let Portia know, so she does not have a child by you and you're not with her, the same way it could be potentially with Camille. Ian has some choices to make. I want to know what you think he's going to do, and how this is all going to shake out with is this going to be a blended family? Is it going to be Mashonda and Alicia Keys and Swiss?
No. No. First off, we don't talk enough about men and their biological clocks ticking just as loud, if not louder, than women's. Because there is no way, I don't care how long you've known Portia, there is no way after in 6 months-ish, you've called off an engagement, you've gotten back with Camille, broken up with Camille, and in that time frame have provided a semen sample to implant these embryos. The eggs are past frozen on their own. The seed has been planted. And so we know that we got 3 boys and 2 girls, or whatever the fuck is going on here. And now you're ready for parenthood. Ian is crazy as fuck. And you started off saying,
I told you, man.
On Tammy's conversation, but Ian, in his desire to have this family unit, is making him be absolutely stupid, because you're not over Camille.
You never gave yourself a chance to process what was going on and your real feelings.
To have this woman that you've had to pay $68,000 for, again, shout out to Aunt Tammy, wreck your wedding, think that you are going to restart your life with this person who you plan to have a life with in the first damn place. And now you don't. And now it's over. And now I'm immediately jumping into something serious with this person, to the point where I have fertilized your frozen eggs. Are you fucking crazy, Ian? I'm stressed out about it. If I'm him,
stressed. I don't even know how I could sleep or do anything until we had this conversation. And there's never a good time to have it, so you might as well just jump into it.
He has to tell Portia today, before she is inseminated. He has to tell Portia. Not only does he have to tell Portia this, he has to reconcile his feelings for Camille, who is now carrying your child that y'all created. This is the thing. Yes, they were just having sex, but y'all still very much loved each other in the midst of that non-committal sex. So this is a baby that was created in love. And I'm sure you do love Portia. Y'all grew up together. She was the sis for 30 years till now. But this is a sign. Nope, I'm not going to say that. It's a very different scenario.
I agree with you. Oh, go ahead.
You don't have the skin in the game, despite this lifelong friendship with Portia, for it to mean as much as it does with Camille, the person that you wanted this life and always saw this life with in the first place. You've got to respect Portia enough to tell her this before she allows this insemination to happen.
Got to. You have to. It's not even up for debate. Like it's really, there's no other option. You cannot drag this along. As I mentioned, this is never going to be an easy conversation. It's not going to be a right time to have it. So just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and do it, because you can't avoid it. You're going to be the biggest piece of shit.
That's it.
You don't have this conversation with her sooner rather than later.
So that's my thoughts on that. The only other thing is Aunt Tammy, who got Camille together in the same way in which she got Ian together last season. Shout out to Bevy Smith, who tells us the story of her abortion story and assures Camille that, you know, you're not your mother. Yeah. Things change. We had a difficult situation, and here is Ian, the only child, mind you. He don't have no brothers and sisters, and clearly Tammy don't have no children.
Ian wasn't playing about as playing as a gas station rose on Valentine's Day.
Silly.
Staying with a bar. Silly. I still laugh. I still randomly laugh at, oh shit, look at the plot twist. That was some of the reason why I love the character. Shout out to Bevy Smith. The reason I love the character of Aunt Tammy so much is because it exudes tough love.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here to pick on you. I'm not here to fuck with you. I'm going to do all of those things.
Yeah, for sure.
But I really love you, and I want to make sure you're good. Obviously, we don't know as viewers the same way Camille doesn't know that Aunt Tammy's even staying there. She heard that conversation. Yeah. It would have been something. Ian's just a dummy, for one. That might be something that you want to have a little bit more private, but it is what it is. But she also looks and says, this is another woman. As you said it earlier. Aunt Tammy did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. Right? I've been in this situation, and I can literally say that I know how you feel. I know what you're going through.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it back to 1993. I'm going to talk to you about these free drink tickets, the Anichi overalls. I'm going to talk to you about how I was at a point in my life, and we can all relate, or maybe some people are still searching, but that point we just feel like I finally got everything moving. We've all had a moment. It doesn't have to be as deep as like having a baby, but we all had a moment where something just happened. It's like, why is this happening now? And she made that decision. And I love how she told her too, like, if you came here for shoulds, you in the wrong place.
Wrong spot.
I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. I'm just telling you both sides of the coin. And if your concern is that you're going to be your mother, let me give you another story to tell you how that can't be true, or that might not be true, or likely won't be. Just because you come from her doesn't mean you have to be her. Just because you come from a fucked up family doesn't mean you can't raise a good family or change that whole dynamic. Doesn't mean you can't break generational curses and the whole nine. And as Camille is going through this entire episode looking for the right advice from the people that she's loves and trusts the most, she gets it from someone that she probably didn't think would even be around to give her advice or even be open to it. And sometimes you need that other perspective or that wisdom. Someone who's not in your age range, somebody who's lived a little bit more life, to tell you, all right, here's your real pros and cons. And it's all about how you feel with things based off the decision you make.
For sure.
And whatever you do, just make sure you can go to sleep at the end of the day and roll with it.
Yeah.
But if the only thing is because you're scared of being your mom, I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, I don't really have much to say. Shout out to Joy Lee. Just that relationship is just, and we saw it in season 2, just not strong. It's a dysfunctional relationship. We know that her father died. She really didn't have any kind of reaction of being pregnant or even possibly terminating the baby. It kind of is what it is. I'm at a crafts retreat upstate. Like, what you want? Very defensive still. You know, tell your doctor that not everything's my fault.
Yeah.
Why are you ruining my trip? So you see, I think that scene specifically was there to let us know these are the things Camille's worried about.
For sure.
That could have easily, had there been no Aunt Tammy conversation, she had the phone call.
He made the call immediately.
He made the call.
And
that's what changed things. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I don't have
I don't have anything else.
I
I'm
don't have
excited
anything else.
to see where we go in these next 4 episodes.
Yeah, I didn't even see. I don't know if the one's available, but I didn't see a preview of what's going to happen next. The whole
I
nine.
didn't watch one if it was available.
So yeah, it's going to be. I don't want to make any predictions because we only have 4 episodes left.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if Prime is going to do the same thing. Last season, I know they did 2 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
If they do that, then obviously we're only going to have 3 episodes. We got y'all covering it.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then we're looking forward to it. We at least have 2 more episodes of We Got Y'all, 4 episodes of Harlem. And we'll be back every weekend to go ahead and recap everything. Rachel, you got anything else to say before we get out of here?
Harlem skills.
Harlem skills. All right, y'all.
That's it. Wrap it up.
We wrapping up this episode. Y'all wrap yourselves up. All right.
Amen.
We out of here. Y'all be cool. Peace.
Bye.